Welcome everyone to the online talk. This Friday again, we are talking about experiences with Wagner, but I'll get to that in a bit. The online talk is promoted by First Class Language Studio. It's a studio, not a school. And I'm your host, Arthur, with Patricia and Wagner. And yeah,
Hi.
yeah. So first off, what is the online talk if it's your first time here? What we do is we have a conversation and we have fun. It's in English, so it's just to, if you want, you can talk with us, but you don't have to. You can just listen if you prefer. So feel free to stay as long as you like. If you want, there are subtitles in Google Meet. So if you go down here in the corner, you click on those three dots. There, ativar legendas, activate the subtitles. It's just in English, but it helps. So yeah, it should be good. Um,
Mhm.
okay, so and in this first 15 minutes of the talk, what we do is we introduce ourselves, right? Uh, should we go first? How should we do this?
Yeah, you can
It's
go
up to
first, of
you.
course.
Okay,
It's up to
sure,
you.
sure.
Can I introduce Wagner to you all?
Please
Yes,
do it.
please.
I met Wagner when he was at the beginning of his career of learning English. Can you remember that, Wagner?
Oh my God. It's been a while.
Yes, but there is something that really marked, and I have that very clear in my memory. You were really determined. Like, I don't remember exactly how many months, but you were a few months to take an exam for the Australia
I
project,
think it's
yeah?
4 months, 6 months, I
4
don't know.
months. Aha. And then it was a TOEFL examination, yeah? And I remember that the first classes couldn't be like just in English, but after some weeks, you got it? Yeah. And I remember you told me, oh, everything you tell me I will do. And you got like loads of homework and extra practice. So, Wagner,
Yeah, sure
I've
thing.
always known you as somebody who's really determined, yeah, and focused. And after you went to Australia, we've talked a few times, but I don't know much about all the adventure. I know a little about that. And that's why I'm here, because I have a lot of questions, but okay, I'm going to give you guys the chance to also ask him, okay? So that's Wagner. He's not from Ponta Grossa, and he doesn't live in Ponta Grossa anymore. And I don't know
Not
much,
anymore.
but I think he doesn't have any kids. He's not married yet.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
I'm single. I'm a poor single guy. Yes, hi guys, hi everyone. Thank you, Patricia. Welcome everyone. Good evening. So I'm Wagner. I've been a while studying English. I studied English with Patricia for 4 months. Maybe it was 2013, I think so. But yeah, I started for 4 months and I did the TOEFL IBT test. I don't know for if anyone has done it, but it's a difficult test because you have four topics to study. You have to speak, you have to listen, you have to write, so it's a bit complicated. But yeah, in 4 months I could go for a good score. I took 60 points. That's half of the test. For 4 months of studying, didn't I didn't know anything about English before that. So 4 months for me, it was a good start. And
And Wagner, that was the first phase. Because after that, after you got the project you were approved for, Ciências Sem Fronteiras, yeah,
yes,
you came and we didn't have the intensive course by that time yet. Arthur, remember I told you
Oh.
about that thing about like multiple
Right.
groups? That's the guy, Wagner.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, so he joined like two groups plus the conversation or three, I don't remember exactly. You are gonna tell them more details in a while, yeah?
yes, yes, of course.
Somebody else to introduce, or if you would like to ask Wagner a question by this time?
Yes, please, guy, interrupt me at any time. That's a free talking. So the first time that I was talking with first experience was more a presentation. So I said a lot of things about my trips that I did in my exchange. But today is more like free talking. I really like to share what people like to do in life, uh, what moves you through life, what you like to do. uh, I don't know. Maybe you like to just watch Netflix. That's okay. Tell me your favorite series. Tell me your favorite TV
let's
show. That's okay for me.
let's meet the guys.
Yes, I really like to know people. I know a lot of people around the globe, around the world. So I really enjoy to listen people what they like to do.
Mm.
Uh, but that
Awesome.
let's begin
So who?
Yeah.
from the start.
Let's check who would like to introduce yourself to Wagner.
Mm.
Yes.
Next one.
If
Yeah.
anyone want to know to introduce yourself, uh,
Arthur,
let's do
Arthur
something
wants
quick.
to
Let's
go.
do something
So,
quick. Like say your name and what you like to do in a short sentence,
okay.
and where do you come from?
That's great. I can do one. I'm Arthur. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Ponta Grossa. I like to play video games and teach English and traveling as well. I was also in Sem Fronteiras a few years ago. I went to Ireland, and
That's a good
so
country.
yeah, it's awesome country. And yeah, so I know what you mean about traveling and meeting people. So yeah, yeah. I think that's it. Who's next? And oh,
Patricia.
and you guys can type in your introduction if you prefer.
Yeah, if you
We would
prefer, you
love
can
to
type it.
hear you, but yeah, if you prefer, you can write too.
Okay, Patricia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Uh, Patricia Portela, 42 years old, born in the south of Brazil. I love foreign languages, traveling, eating, not necessarily cooking. No, I love cooking as well. And those are the great passions I have in life. And I think we are here in this dimension to learn as much as we can, yeah, and have experiences, and everybody's evolving and on your own pace. And be happy.
Now you like to ride
Next one,
motorcycle?
I yes, but I don't ride motorcycles anymore. I'm just the passenger,
Oh,
That's good enough.
just as a passenger. Next one to introduce yourself. There are a lot of new people in the room. Can I provoke somebody, Arthur?
I think you
Can
can.
I? Yeah,
I'm
yeah, I
seeing
can.
some
Okay, so
no faces here.
I Leandro, would you like to introduce yourself? There are new guys in the room. Your microphone is off. You can't write.
Hello,
Hey, hello.
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
All right, I'm
Pretty
sorry about
cool.
that.
That's great. How are
Hello,
you?
good evening. How are you?
I'm Leandro. I was born in Brazil, Ponta Grossa. I'm 26 years old. I like sunsets, long walks on the beach, and beer.
Beer. That's a good one.
Perfect.
What kind of beer do you like?
Free.
Sorry, couldn't get it.
I like free beer.
The best
Oh,
Free
kind.
beer.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's what
That's
I
when
what.
like.
when you come to Ponta Grossa, stop by Bonifácio Vilela,
I
okay?
will.
1196. If you were
I
here
will.
today, I have some Vichirica from Schultz, man. You should, I should find a way to send you some. Sorry.
She's been dreaming about it for
I
the
will
last
love
few
that. I
weeks.
will love
Yeah.
that. Trust me.
So Leander, you don't live here, right? You're living in USA, if I
Yeah,
remember.
Yes. I'm living in a little town called Manville, New Jersey, for 2 years now.
2 years. That's huge. That's really
Yeah,
huge.
yeah, it's a long time, but I love it. I love this place.
Nice. Have you been traveling around USA?
Yeah, I spent last Christmas on my uncle house, and which is in Florida. So yeah, every chance that I have to go out and go to some different places, I'll take it, definitely.
That's
Cool.
nice.
That's fair.
Cool.
Anybody else would like to introduce yourself?
Hello,
Hey,
good evening.
evening.
Hey, welcome.
Hello. I'm interested to pronunciate your name because it's a different pronunciation. I
My
can
name is
imagine.
Nairo.
Lido. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
yeah.
From where this name came from? Which
I'm
country?
born.
Is it a bit freezing?
Yeah, a little
I
bit.
couldn't.
It should be
From
good now.
from from the head of my father.
Welcome, Lido. Can you
I
please introduce
Welcome,
yourself?
Lido.
I don't know. It's the first. It's the first time that I speak with any other in English.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
very
Oh,
You're doing great.
Very
oh, that's
newbie.
okay. You're doing very great.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Thank you.
Welcome.
What city do you come from? Are you from Ponta Grossa?
No. I'm from. I was born in Cuiabá, but now I'm from Alta Floresta, Mato Grosso.
Oh, Mato Grosso.
Near. He is.
Nice.
It's
I
very
guess
close to Amazonia.
Oh, okay.
I have a
Oh,
question. I have a question. What's the temperature like where you are? What's the temperature?
we're freezing here, mate.
Here, Lido,
Yeah.
5:02 this morning. Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what.
Oh, the temperature. What's the temperature like? A temperatura.
Block.
Tá travando, né? Sorry. No problem. Here it's very cold. Here it's very cold.
Yeah.
In Ponta Grossa. It's really, really cold.
Here is very hell.
I can imagine. Oof. Yeah.
Man, I was a time
43 degrees.
Ooh.
43 degrees.
43 yesterday.
Huge.
Oh my god.
What am I doing here?
Very hell. Very hell.
Oh my god.
It's nice place.
Fair enough.
I'm sure.
Fair enough.
Man, I went a time to Corumbá. Corumbá. I don't know if the name of the city, but it's Mato Grosso do Sul.
Hmm.
And it was like hell.
Yes.
It was like hell. I probably it was 40 degrees.
Oh my
40
god.
degrees at least.
That's too much.
Cuiabá is the worst.
Oh my god.
Cuiabá is the worst.
Because
I have a
it is in a
question.
hole.
Oh, go on, Mari. What's your question?
Now it's 43. Yes, 43.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Now, yeah.
And what about the summer? Because we are in winter now. What about the summer?
Winter where? Where is winter?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Um,
It's, uh, summer in hell. Summer in hell.
always.
Only,
And
only, only,
Only
only.
season, yeah, that's fair.
okay.
Yeah.
Guys,
And
before we
I'll be back in a
move
minute.
on, okay, see you in a bit. Before we start, because we've been a few minutes in the introductions, let's start asking some questions to about your trip, Wagner. Because yeah, I don't think we have a like an hour is not enough to ask you about
An hour is
these
not
things.
enough. Yes, I will try
okay.
to do it simple, but it's difficult. It's difficult.
I can imagine. So you mentioned you were in Australia, right?
Yes, yes. I did the TOEFL IBT test
Okay.
in 2013, 2014,
Okay.
and in 2015, I got the Science Without Border, and not the application,
Right.
the form application, and so I did it. I was not very confident because, come on, I was choosing Australia. There was three countries in my list,
Huh.
and the first one was Canada. I
Oh.
really liked it to go to Canada, but Ireland was one of the countries,
Oh,
and
okay.
the other one was Australia. So when my friend said to me, "Oh, Australia has a really low score to get into,"
Mm-hmm.
so oh my God, I was just because I was not confident with my score because it's really difficult. Like for England, you can go for 100 points
Right.
in exam that you have 120 points.
Yeah.
So I was 60 points. So oh, let's try. Even if I can't go it, I will try.
Of course.
And yes, and I could go on. I could go on to Australia. In that year, there were a lot of people going to Australia, so
Mm.
that's why the score was so low.
Oh.
And
Uh,
Wagner, was that your first experience abroad?
yes, what was my first experience
How did
abroad?
it
I
feel?
because the other country that I went to was to Paraguay. And when people ask you, "Oh, did you go to another country?" You feel a little bit you feel a little bit weird to say that you went to Paraguay or Bolivia. That's very close to here. But
I love the Bolivia.
but yeah, I was in that time, so I never went to abroad to another country, and I was I was in that time that I was going to Australia, the other part of the country, the other part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I was I was a bit scared. My mother was a bit scared.
Yeah,
Not a
that's
bit.
fair.
It
That's
was
fair. Yeah.
huge.
And I remember like when I was choosing my countries, I think Australia was on my list too. And my father said, no, that's too far. Like that's but I
I
understand.
I wonder what Wagner means when he says that he was scared. Because, like, I remember the first time I went to Europe, I was afraid I wouldn't be allowed to stay, and I had a situation at the immigration.
Oof.
What were you scared of?
Mm.
Yes, I don't know. Maybe for everyone, like your first trip,
Yeah.
you don't know the protocols. You don't know how you're supposed to act. You
Hmm.
know, and
And yeah, it's crazy.
it was crazy. It was crazy, but everything was so normal. Everything was so normal. When I got to the airplane, the first the first airplane, because I took, I don't know,
Oh,
maybe four airplanes to
oh my God.
to arrive in Australia.
how
Can you
how
imagine that
how long
you
was
go to
that?
Australia? go to Australia is like 2 days traveling
Oof.
because you have 1.5 days traveling in airplane, but you get the time, the time difference,
Oh, right.
12 hours of difference. So it was 2 days. Like I started here and and I right there 2 days later. So
Yeah. But do you
a
go
bit crazy.
you go through Europe? Like you go to Europe and then to Australia, or is it the other way around?
No, the other way around. I went
Okay.
from Pacific.
Okay.
Yes, and it was in 2016. So I spent the whole year in Australia.
Mm.
Uh, was really nice, really nice. But let's start from the beginning. I just got up. I just caught up another day. I was thinking uh, because I never liked to walk. I never like going in hikings, trekking. I will explain later how what's the difference between hiking and
Do it
trekking.
now. Do it now. We don't have much time.
But mostly is walking through nature.
Okay.
If you go to a mountain, like one day, you go and come back, it's a hiking. And when we spend like more than one day, 2 days, 3 days, or a whole week, a whole month, it's a trekking.
Oh,
It
okay.
is not climbing, it's a bit different. So I never liked to walk that much. And
Nice.
my father, when I was 16 years old, he took me to a mountain close to Curitiba. Yes, I'm from Curitiba, and I don't know if someone likes to hike in here, but it's called Anhangaba,
Hmm.
Mount Anhangaba, and I was like 2 hours walking, and I got in the top of the mountain, and it was nothing. It was all cloudy. I couldn't see anything because it was raining that day.
Oh.
Sorry. So that was your first experience
It was my
with
first
your
experience.
dad. Hours walking. When you got to the top, it was like,
It
why
was
didn't come
cloudy.
all the way here?
Yeah, it
Okay.
was raining and I couldn't see anything, like
Oh.
1 meter ahead of me. And yeah, it was very frustrating. Like I said to my parents, I never want to do this again.
How did you become? How did you? Because I know that you really love hiking and trekking nowadays, yeah?
Yes, I love it.
And how did it all happen?
Yeah.
Yes, it was when I was 16 years old. Today I'm 28 years old, so pretty much 12 years. So what really started me to open my eyes to walk through nature when I went to army. I stayed 3 years in army, and I will show some pictures to you. But let me just give me a sec just to put the presentation.
Sorry, Mari.
Where is army? I didn't understand. Sorry.
Oh, like in the military.
Oh,
Army.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
While Wagner is getting the
Oh, that does
pictures,
not look like you.
let me
Come on.
tell let me tell you guys, Wagner went to the base camp in Everest. So I really suggest you guys ask him questions, okay?
There's a
Yes,
lot of story
interrupt me
there.
at
Yeah.
any time. Yes, so here I went to the army when I in maybe 2010, maybe 2010. Yeah. So that's when I really start uh, to see the nature, to see going on campings, going in a really crazy way to walk and eat and drink. You don't have that much when you do it.
Oh.
So it's a really bit of pain. Most of the time it's pain, like you you hurt yourself. I don't know why I like it, but that's okay. So
would
I'm
you
just
would
showing some
you
pictures.
I
Being
mean
with the
would you do it again?
No, man, no. I can't do this again. It was a good 3 years. It was
Okay.
a good 3 years, but
Okay.
yes, I couldn't live in that way, you know.
Mhm.
But it was a good time. It was a good time because I could really start to know me, start to really I wanted to do like uh like to work,
Cool.
like to
And Wagner,
study.
what was the longest, yeah, the longest, how many days was the maximum you spent in the wild, in the woods, in the nature, in the jungle? I don't know.
Yes, it was 12 days, 12 days, and
12.
yes. And the curious thing about that, and I didn't bath myself, you know, bath, like take shower.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I didn't have shower for like
The sound is
7 days,
bad for me. Is it
1 week.
working for you?
It it's okay, I think.
It's a
Wait,
bit difficult, you know.
wait,
It's a bit difficult.
I didn't get how many days. Can you repeat the period?
It was 12 days.
Oh, right.
12 days that I went to do completely wild.
Ooh.
I neither have internet.
Oh yeah,
I
even
hadn't
worse.
haven't anything.
That's too bad.
So yes, after the army, I started with my friends, and I came back to the mountain that I speak and that I said to you before, the mountain Angava, and I could go for another hikings with my friends, and then alone. Here I'm the top of the highest point of the south of Brazil.
Mm.
I am at the Pico Paraná.
Oh, that looks really
It's really
high.
nice.
Uh-huh.
It was really nice.
Do you know how high is that?
Maybe
Google can tell this too.
1800,
Yeah.
1800.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe 1800.
That's cool.
I don't remember exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that much. It's not that much because in Brazil we don't have like huge high mountains, you know.
Mm-hmm. But
But
still.
it was really hard in that time, and I
Yeah.
think it is right now. So in these years that I've met Patricia and I start my college. So I'm from Curitiba. I went to Ponta Grossa to study engineering. I was really in that time that I was doing a lot of hikings, trekkings, and when they start this opportunity to go to Australia,
Mm-hmm.
it was really a moment that I could uh, test. I could test whether what I really like to do uh, into the nature. If
Mm-hmm.
I just want to go camping, some people like to go just for camping. Some people like to ride bike. You know, some people like
Uh-huh.
to run. So there is a lot of things to do in the nature. But I just like to walk. Just
Okay.
like to walk.
That's cool. That's cool.
So here I started in Australia. So it was 4 years ago, so it's a bit long right now.
Mhm.
So here I was in Sydney, and this welcome home here. Uh, the word saying in the top is saying good day, good day. That's pretty much good morning for Australia.
Uh-huh. Oh.
And here, do you remember that, Patricia?
Of course I do. Francisco Ribas. It was the farewell party.
Can you explain
No.
what we're doing here?
Yeah, we were having a farewell party. Goodbye. You were going to Australia, yeah? A few days after that.
Oh.
And it was at first class
It
on
was first
Francisco
class.
Ribas. Uh-huh.
Yes. Here, that was the place that I started studying English, and was really happiness here.
Oh.
So that's my
Amazing.
city that I lived in Australia. It's called Adelaide. It's not that huge city. It's close to Curitiba,
Mm-hmm.
and for the most cities in around the world, is not so big,
Mm-hmm.
because like the main part of this city is just here in the middle. All of that you're seeing uh, in the picture behind it was just houses. So it is not that big city.
Right.
And when you see
Nice.
in behind of the city, you can see a lot of mountains.
Uh-huh.
That's because Adelaide, it's a city between the ocean, so it's a beach city, and in between the mountain.
And
So
Wagner, can you repeat the name of the city?
Adelaide.
Adelaide. Okay, Adelaide. And
Yeah.
what are the best and worst memories you have of Adelaide?
Oh gosh, that's a tough one.
The best one and the worst one.
I think the best one was the sunset, because here in Brazil, we don't have the sunset in the ocean. The sunset, no, I think the sunset is opposite. The
Oh,
sunset,
uh-huh.
no, I'm sure. Sunset, yeah, yes. When the sun goes down,
Right.
you see the sun going down in the ocean here in
Oh.
Adelaide. But in Brazil, we don't see this. We just see the sun going up in the morning
Uh-huh.
in the ocean. So that's what I most like about Adelaide. So I just like to go with my friends to the beach and see the sunset in the afternoon. So it's really nice to sit in the sand and watch this.
That's cool.
Um, and
And
I
the
don't
worst
know the
memory?
worst. I don't know if there is any.
Nothing that bad, but a fiasco? Any
I don't know
problem?
if there is any. Yes, my
Oh.
family and my friends were not there, so that's what I didn't like that
Oh.
much
Uh-huh. And
in that time.
I have something else. How was the language? Like, was it what you expected? Was it different? Was it?
Oh, it was completely different.
Oh.
I remember I was the airplane, and some Australian guys started to talk with me.
Uh-huh.
And the one thing is that you learn English in Brazil. That when I make some mistakes, Patricia was always there to correct me or to say something even in Portuguese. But there I didn't have any help in the beginning. Uh, so they started to ask me about a lot of things that I could understand. So I just laughing and saying, yeah, yeah. That's the really nice thing about Brazilians, that you're always laughing, and they really like this. They really like to speak it with Brazilians because we are the time happy
Yeah.
most of the time. And so they were really interested about me and about Brazil, and asked me how about trekkings in Brazil. And in that time, I was not very good in going in trekkings and hikings, and they were asking me a lot of things, and I couldn't answer. But it was a bit frustrated. But later that I could get their contacts, and I could speak with them a lot of times after the airplane trip. Uh,
Uh-huh.
so when I arrived in Adelaide, the taxi guy, he was Indian,
Mm.
and for like Brazil, India, the language is completely different. Like you can go to Germany, and a lot of people speak in English, so they speak it very well. But Indians, they don't have this a second language being
Mm-hmm.
English. So for them, it's very difficult. I think more than for Brazilians.
Ooh.
So it was very difficult to understand
Difficult.
him.
Uh-huh.
I just, because I write it down my address,
Oh.
so I gave to him, and I said, just took me there, please, because
Uh-huh.
I'm not very good
This
in English
place,
yet.
like, cool, cool.
Yeah,
that's
and
nice.
he took me to my address. So it was a bit different. And for the most of the Australians, the language is very different because they have a strange way, like country way, to speak words,
Hmm.
uh, like interior.
Mm-hmm.
They speak very English from interior,
Right.
and it is difficult to understand even a Brazilian from interior.
Uh-huh.
Can you imagine Australian saying, "Hello, mate. How are you doing, mate? Feeling break crack today, mate?" So I couldn't understand anything in the beginning, but after you took classes, I took it 13 weeks of English classes over there, and I remember my teacher saying that we speak like a 5 years old boy. So that's what I get to me.
Oh.
So no, I don't want to speak like a 5 years boy. I want to speak better. So in that time today, I'm a bit rusty because it's been a while that I don't talk English in so many days
Oh, wow.
frequently.
I mean, if
But
if if
in
that's rusty, like,
yes, yes, I felt rusty sometimes because it's very difficult to learn the Australian way to speak English. And when you're seeing some movies, some I don't know, maybe American movie,
uh,
it was very easy to
okay,
understand
compared
because it was
to.
was hard in the
Sounds
in the
more
street.
familiar, yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. Oh, and guys, if you have any questions,
I do have a question.
go on.
Yes, please go for it.
Um, I heard that you guys say breakfast instead of breakfast in Australia. Is that true?
And not in all cities. Maybe if you go really into the country, they say very strange, and breakfast they say like this. But most of the time, they speak like they have a potato in their mouth, like
All that bigger.
breakfast, like something in your mouth, and you have to open your mouth to speak it, the Australian way to say this. Um, yeah. So in Australia, because there were a lot of mountain around, I could go for a lot of hikings, and I really had some friends, some Australian friends, that I really enjoyed to do it, and they took me to explore the country. So I did a trekking here. I did just two sectors of this trekking, but this trekking covers all the Australia. They go from the south to the north of Australia. Of course, I didn't do everything. Just two
Yeah,
sectors was 2 days walking,
that's
not
huge.
that much.
Yeah.
And here, some pictures here in Australia. Here, when I went to Indonesia, to Bali, I just hike up to a volcano. So it was an active volcano. You couldn't see the smokes flying from the rocks, and was very hot close to these rocks. You couldn't feel it. So it's very weird to get into this situation because you don't know. Maybe this will blow up in that time that you're there. You don't know. I was in that volcano in 2 years. 2 years before that time, they were blowing up.
Ooh.
A fire and smoke and everything.
So there's a chance of something happening. Like,
Yes, yes,
wow.
sure thing. There was a chance, but yeah, I was there. So they invited me and I went. Uh,
Sure, why not?
Here in that time, I started to be more fearless.
Oh,
Uh, so
that's good.
that's really nice. You go and exchange because it's a really suggestion for everyone, like for who didn't do it, who didn't do it, because it's really nice going and exchange. You discover a lot of yourself. You find a lot of yourself,
Hmm.
what you really like to do.
That's cool. Yeah, it's
And
great to hear.
that's the name of the volcano. Batur. If you wanted to Google it after, you can see Batur volcano. Here was in Tasmania. It was the capital of Tasmania. It's a state from Australia.
Oh.
I think everyone knows the Devils of Tasmania. Uh,
At
in that
least the
cartoon.
cartoon.
Yes, the cartoon.
Did you come
For,
across one?
for the people old like me, they know the cartoon. Sorry, Patricia, can you ask it again?
Did you see one? Did you come across one? A devil
Yes,
in
yes,
Tasmania.
yes. I travel by car. I cross all the land. It's not very big, so you can go like 3 days driving. You can go all around the island.
Okay. And what about the animal, the devil? Did you see it?
I see it, but I saw it, but it was in a zoo.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does it spin like that or no?
No, not sting,
Oh.
but they really make a sound. They really make a
Oh,
sound. Like
really?
What's the sound?
if you like, if you bother him, they will scream really loud,
Oh,
really
Can
loud.
okay.
you
You can.
copy?
No, I can't. Sorry, I can't copy that. But
Oh, Wagner, we
I don't
have a
know. Maybe.
question. Tiago is asking you about the weather in Adelaide.
Oh, that's a good one. In Australia, because they were very close to the desert, they have really extreme weather. Like in the summer, you can go for 40 degrees, with most the same of Mato Grosso. But in the winter, you could get really like Ponta Grossa in the winter.
Okay.
So it's very, very extreme weathers for the period of time of the year. But in Tasmania was really cold. Tasmania, I think, is the one of I think is the yes, just this place that you can see snow. I was in the summer here, but in the winter, all of these mountains are covered with snow. So yes, you're interested about the animals. So some pictures about kangaroos. The Australians call roos. They call the kangaroos as roos.
Uh-huh.
That's a good one. The
Oh.
little baby.
And is that like an adult one? The size?
Yes, it was adult one because there are different types of kangaroos. You can
Okay.
see the head kangaroos. The head kangaroos are the highest one, and
Mm-hmm.
they're very strong. Like the pictures that you see,
Right.
that Moscow kangaroo, it's the head one, but that one was not head.
Awesome.
Oh, and koalas.
Koala,
Uh-huh. They look so cute.
they're very
Well,
cute, very cute.
just to remind you all that we have about 15 minutes, so I recommend you ask whatever you want to. Okay.
Oh, Cynthia is asking about the spiders in Australia.
Oh, spiders, tricky one. Yes, they have really dangerous spiders. People think that Australia, there's a lot of animal walking on the streets, and if you go to the streets or go into the nature, you got bite by something, and you got dead because of the animals. But they think about Brazil the same. So
Mm.
it's not that kind of thing that you go into the streets and you
Oh.
see animals and they bite you and you're dead. No. The spiders, they have a really dangerous. They have one called headback. I saw one of these headback once, but it was dead, so
Oh,
it didn't scare me too much. But they
luckily.
have
Oh,
a
that,
really
that was
big
my
ones.
question.
They have big ones, but the Australian, they have the policy that you don't hurt spiders.
Oh.
So they live in your house. They walk freely on the street.
They take over your house.
People don't care too much about the spider. Like here in Brazil, when you see spider, oh my God, you want to kill it. But
Arthur, Arthur, Leandro, Mariana, Wagner, and everybody, what was the most dangerous animal you've ever seen, like before you?
Oh, the most dangerous
But
animal.
not like zoo, at the zoo.
Oh,
Maybe it was a spider. I
I
saw a
don't know.
jararaca once,
I don't know. I think it was
and I was scared.
I don't know if it was a crocodile or an alligator, but here in
Where
Brazil,
were you?
in
Where were you?
on the coast, like on the Ilha do Cardoso. Yeah, I was a kid, and yeah, but it was from a distance. It was not nothing dangerous. So Claudinea
Oh,
saw a snake.
I think not in the zoo. I think a yellow scorpion,
Oh,
the most dangerous
oh,
one.
uh-huh,
scorpion are dangerous.
right,
Yes,
uh-huh,
I think that.
uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, that's an
Yeah.
awesome picture.
Yeah, here are some pictures of New Zealand, and it's a really good country to walk into the nature. If you like it, go to New Zealand.
How many
I
days
just,
do you recommend
oh gosh.
to stay around
If
New
you go to
Zealand?
New Zealand, start from the Southland because they have two islands.
Hmm.
Uh, so they have South and North, but North are the biggest cities and most of the volcanoes, I think. But they are not very like per picture. They are not very beautiful, you know.
Okay.
Uh, I went to a city that really stinks. Like you can smell the that component, that chemical component.
Hmm.
I don't know the chemical component of volcanoes.
Is it sulfur?
Yes, so far. You
Uh-huh.
could smell it. You could smell it in the air, so it was not very
Oh,
good.
You guys were
nice.
Uh,
talking about hell. So yeah, the sulfur smell.
yes, like that.
Yeah.
uh, yes, but in the South Island it is the most beautiful part of the country. So
Okay.
if you like Lord of the Rings, most of the like the video that they filmed was in the Southland of New
Hmm.
Zealand.
Hmm.
So it's a really good country
That's
Awesome.
cool.
to be traveling.
Oh yeah.
So I recommend Patricia in the Southland at least 10 days.
Okay.
And if you want to go to the Northland, just go for 3 or 4 days, not that much.
Okay.
I have a few theories so far in this decades I've been living. One of them is that I'm not going to spend less than 3 weeks in a country when I go. Because then you don't have time to walk in nature.
That's a good
Wow,
one.
beautiful picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I recommend traveling by motorhome,
Oh, cool.
especially in New Zealand because they're very cheap. Uh, they're very cheap, and you save money from the hotel.
Uh-huh.
It's
And
very
you're
good.
like I mean, you get up, you open the door and you're like out and
Yes, yes. I remember that I woke up and I was in the middle of these mountains.
Oh,
Was a crazy picture to see, man.
cool.
Really nice.
Was it comfortable in the camper van?
Yes, you can get the cheapest one, but
Uh-huh.
they're not very comfortable. But the one that we took, it was very comfortable. Like we went with five guys,
Uh-huh.
uh, and the motorhome was to 6 people. So yeah, it was very
Cool.
comfortable. Not you have the bathroom, you have the kitchen, you have even a TV. So
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
you're in the heaven.
And where was this? Where was the bungee jumping?
Yes, I did bungee jumping in New Zealand. It
Oh,
was really nice.
cool.
You're
And
More
crazy.
than 100 meters.
how was it?
Oh man, was a bit scary, but in the beginning. But after I jumped, uh, I wanted to go again. Because
Oh, cool.
you really feel that all the afraid that you feel, uh, it is nothing. It is nothing
Oh.
because when you jump and after that you feel so free. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. That's
I
fair.
don't know to explain the feeling,
Uh-huh.
but
No.
it's very scary in the beginning. But after you make the choice to jump, all of that is just fun, you know.
Cool. Very nice. I've always wanted to ask, like, what happens in the end? Like, do they just pull you back slowly?
Not pull. They just put the hand in your back,
Uh-huh.
just to say you have to jump. If
Okay.
you're not
Okay.
jumping, you're coming back. I'm not give your money back.
Fair enough.
But
And
the
after that,
decision,
to
Uh-huh.
the
return.
sorry,
And after that, to return, to get back.
to get back, they just pull the rope. They
Okay.
pull the rope, and in is 1 minute to get you back. No, that's okay. That's okay. When you jump, like you jump not once, like you jump one time, and
Okay.
because the rope is elastic,
Uh-huh.
so you go up and go down, go up and go down.
Uh-huh.
Is there anybody in the room afraid of height, or it's that only me?
Guilty charge. I am.
I am a little bit too, like.
Yeah, it
Say that
used to
again.
be
You're
a
crazy, man.
phobia now, but now I'm just afraid. Definitely.
And I mean,
But
not happy with bungee jumping, then he went skydiving or parachuting or something.
so, guys, after just 1 year, like living in Australia, studying, was not just fun. It was a time that I was studying too.
Oh yeah.
But to close this year, I wanted to do something really big,
Uh-huh.
really start in that world of trekking. And I started in the one of the most beautiful trekkings in the world. That is the Everest base camp. It
Oh,
is
cool.
not the top of the mountain of Everest, because Everest is the highest mountain of the world, and to climb there, it took a project of maybe 10 years to prepare yourself,
Hmm.
and a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
So what I did was just walk for 12 days, and here in Nepal that I went to start it. I would just go quick in the pictures, just you to see how was the experience. But if you have any question, please
Hmm.
make it.
Yeah, and we are in the last 5 minutes of the talk, so yeah, please do make questions. That's cool. And so it's like 12 days to get to the base camp.
It was 7 days to get to the base camp and
Oh,
5 days
right.
coming back.
Makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense.
And did anything different happen that you didn't expect? Anything unexpected while you were going and returning?
Yes, was a lot of weird things. I just remember one day that I woke up in the middle of the night, and it was all shaking. The house was shaking, and I thought it was the windy because the house that I was sleeping was not so good. But I remember all shaking, and I thought it was the strong wind. But I was just in the middle of an earthquake.
Whoa.
Cool.
And it was almost 6 points of earthquake, so it's a bit huge. I really thought um, that I was in the middle of the wind, but after I woke up, I really believe the other people screaming outside that it was an earthquake.
Oh.
So that's a dangerous thing, but they have this like monthly. Every month they have an earthquake, so for them it's so normal.
Oh my
So
goodness.
Oof.
And
So
then
here is
it was
very close
shaking,
to
and
Everest.
that's it. And okay, an earthquake.
Yes, they call you to go to the main room. It's downstairs, so it's all protected by rocks. So it's most safe place in the house. So you have to wait a few hours to come back to your room
In the
because you
middle
never
of
know
the
if it is the
night.
strongest one.
Oh God.
Fair enough.
Okay.
And here I was in the Everest base camp.
Oh, cool. That's nice. Cynthia was asking, what about the food? Did you miss
Yes,
Brazilian?
they don't have a very different food in Nepal. They have mostly chicken.
Uh-huh.
They have a lot of chicken. They put some sauce, a really strong sauce, curry.
Ooh.
Uh, so it's a strong sauce.
Hmm.
It's a bit hot,
Yeah, it's in
but
everything, right?
it's everything in the countries on the Orient
Yeah.
on this. So here behind it is that where that's the place that the climbers start to climb to Everest. Everest is
Ooh.
just behind it,
Uh-huh.
this mountain in the back. So here's a good picture of Everest.
Oh,
So
cool.
the middle mountain in the back is the Everest.
Mm. Yeah, and it's probably like really, really far the to to fit in the
Yes,
picture.
yes, they started the climbing, and because they have to go and come back, to go and come back because of the acclimatization.
Mm-hmm.
So they, I don't know, they stay here in the base camp for 1 month,
Ooh, okay.
but all the time going up and down
Mm,
until they push to the top.
that's nice.
So here was very cold, colder than today in Ponta Grossa and Curitiba and the other
And
cities.
okay. And what was the height?
Here was 5,000, five
So
thousand
you
meters.
can so you can feel the difference, like I mean, oxygen
Yes,
and hard to breathe.
yeah. The most difficult here is not walk, because I was very trained to do it. So I trained for 3 months to go specifically for this trekking. But
Mm-hmm.
the most difficult thing here is to breathe because here you have like 6% of the normal oxygen, and in the top of the Everest is
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
30%.
yeah,
So
it's very little.
Wow.
to
So
walk
it's
is very
something,
difficult.
yeah, the sensation is something like this. You are walking and your heart goes pounding as if you had been running, yeah?
Yes, of course. You're walking and it means like you're running.
Mm-hmm.
You see where you wanna go into when you're going to go, but you took you maybe take you maybe 3 hours to go because I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't see the base camp, but it took me 3 hours to go there
Ooh.
because
Wow.
of the oxygen,
Uh-huh.
the lack of oxygen.
Nice.
So this is the time that I was in the top of the mountain and hung out with my father. As you can see, you can you couldn't see you can't see anything behind it,
In your
but
excitement
that's
on your
very good.
face, it's like you're really happy to be there.
So that's a sent for Scott Fitzgerald. Uh, so if I can type down after that the sentence so you can translate later.
uh,
But what I wanted to do, what I wanted to speak here, that don't feel afraid to discover things, to find things, because in the middle of that, probably you find yourself. Finally, you find something that really makes you happier or make you more satisfied. And I think a life it is about that. Life it is all about not just you doing things. That's not what I mean. But if you do things that you enjoy, if you do things that satisfies you, I think that moves you through life. That gives you the perspective to really think what you're gonna do if you want to have family, if you wanted to open own business, or if you wanna go in a really difficult trip or a really nice trip, you know. So I know that I don't have too much time, but if you want to share some experience, please share with us.
Mhm. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's awesome. Yeah, thank you. So, does anybody want to share one of your experiences?
Not necessarily about one experience, but about what Wagner was saying about all the experiencing life and like there is a challenge, you just go and you face it. It doesn't mean you have to do anything big. But like about your what we call limits, maybe like just start doing some things like by yourself. I know people that they are afraid of traveling by themselves, but what about going to a restaurant alone? Yeah, you can start like doing like taking
Small
little
steps.
steps.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I don't mean you are supposed to do things alone, okay? But it's just like, yeah, it's something that people don't feel comfortable usually, yeah? And
Mm-hmm.
this sensation of being, I don't know, the satisfaction of being independent, you can do stuff, you feel the, I don't know, you feel powerful, yeah? And I prefer doing things with people around, yeah? But it's nice when you're afraid of something and you go and you do it, yeah? And after that, like, oh man, I can't believe it, I could do it, yeah? Then it moves you to try other steps and other things, and that's life.
That's
Okay,
okay, not like something.
Mm-hmm.
You can
that's
start another thing.
Yeah,
that's true.
exactly.
That's true.
That's the most nice thing.
But
But
okay,
doing new things, yeah, it's awesome.
definitely. Okay, so thanks so much, guys, for coming tonight. Next week we can, yeah. Do we have a topic for next week?
Yeah, well, the guys were planning and
Mm-hmm.
they started talking to some guests, and we
Mm-hmm.
would like to have an online talk da saudade.
Oh, how nice.
So Gisele Anzen and some
Uh-huh.
others might join us, yeah?
Uh-huh.
And if
Uh-huh.
there is anybody else you would like to invite as
Of
well,
course. Yeah,
yes.
from everybody. And yeah, and we
Uh-huh.
can keep on sharing our stories about what we
Yes.
did, because I'm sure a lot of these people have done some crazy stuff. And it's
And I would
should be.
like to listen to all those stories.
Oh
So I'm
yeah,
curious.
definitely. Okay. So and yeah, so I hope to see you all next week. We'll be here same time, Friday, 8:30. And yeah, have a nice weekend.
Thank you a lot for everyone for listening.
Thank you. Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you,
for
everyone.
coming.
And if you want to talk more with me, just add me on Instagram. I will write down right now, so you can add
Oh,
me.
cool. Please.
And as I will please to talk.
Do you have any videos of the earthquake night?
No, I was in the middle of the night. I was just walking up.
He was too scared to
Okay.
record a video.
Just a question.
No, I was lost. I was
Right,
completely lost.
confused. Aha, fair enough. I understand.
I've never been to an earthquake. It's
Life
not on
goals.
my list. It's not on my list.
Who knows? But
Oh,
okay. But yeah.
okay, thank
So
you.
thanks so much. And yeah, see you next Friday. Bye,
Good
guys.
night, guys.
Good night.
Oh gosh.
See
Bye-bye.
you.
I
Bye,
can't believe it.
guys.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Next week I won't be able,
Oh,
but I hope you will have a great time.
thank you.
Bye, guys. See you in the next
Oh,
time.
Bye bye.
something. I believe that by next week you'll be able to see the recordings. We
Oh, cool.
have we've had them for like 3 months, I guess, yeah.
A while.
And then, yeah, next week you'll be able. So, yeah, in 1 week you'll be able to see this, and then Mariana, the following week you will be able to watch the one we're having next Friday.
Yes,
Okay.
I have the classes from college each 2 weeks. So I
Okay.
will appear here sometimes.
That's great. That's great.
Cool.
It's good to see
Awesome.
you.
And
Thank you.
Lido, don't give up. Don't give up.
Never.
English is very good.
Yeah, it's really good
English
for your
is
first
very
time.
good.
Uh-huh.
He's
Never.
wearing a t-shirt and he's in Brazil. I'm getting nervous. Laro, really nice to meet you. You're always welcome. And everybody, you all. Have a nice weekend.
Yeah, goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.